Hello ladies, God bless you. So today I just wanted to do this quick audio message to touch a little bit on nutrition and especially on breakfast. So we have heard a lot about breakfast, maybe as we were growing up, as we were kids, from our parents, from the people around us. There are lots of things, information that go around about breakfast. What is a healthy breakfast, and is it important? Can I skip breakfast and things like that? So we're going to look at all of that in this audio. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Why? Because you use it to break your fast. You get up from bed after many hours of not eating, and then that's the first meal of the day. So the choice, what you're going to eat for breakfast, is going to set the pace for the rest of the day. So it is very, very important that your breakfast is a good and healthy breakfast. There is this general law, this general rule for healthy eating, which says that breakfast like a king, that is, you really have a good breakfast. Lunch like a prince, so your lunch should not be that heavy anymore. And then dinner like a beggar. But most often, maybe because of our work schedules or because of the way we've grown up, we always do it the opposite way. Sometimes we even skip breakfast, or we have just a cup of tea and maybe an egg or something very little, or a slice of bread. And then at lunchtime, you eat a lot of food, and then at dinner, you eat so much, and then you go to sleep. That is bad. That is not the way it should be. The smallest meal of the day should actually be your dinner, and if you are going to skip something, then skip dinner. Don't skip breakfast. But we always do it the other way around, maybe because of our work schedules, maybe because of other commitments, or maybe just because we've just grown up eating that way. So it is time to break that pattern and start doing things right. So what is a good breakfast? What should I take for breakfast? We grew up again having when you talk of breakfast, you think of bread, you think of tea, you think of sugar, you think of coffee, you think of pancakes, and all these things that we have grown up knowing. But there is only one rule for breakfast. The only rule for breakfast is that it should be healthy. It should be gesund. Frühstück soll gesund sein. Das ist das einzige Regel. That's the only rule. It should be healthy. So you can eat anything for breakfast so long as it's healthy, so long as it's balanced. Another rule for healthy living is that you need to know your goals. If your goal is to lose weight, then you try to reduce your carbohydrates intakes. And if it's possible, just cut out all processed carbohydrates like white bread, like rice, noodles, pasta, and all those things. When you cut out all those things from your diet, you're already on the right track. If your goal is just to live a balance, just to be balanced, then you should have equal amount of everything. The main classes of food: proteins, fats, good fats, healthy fats. We're going to look at all these things as we go on with the program. And then carbohydrates. Everything should be balanced, like equal amount. Then if you have another goal, like to build muscles, to tone up, to build muscles like bodybuilding, then you should be having more carbohydrates than the other parts. But I don't think any of us here wants to really build muscles. So that's another rule of thumb. Now let's look at breakfast again. What can you have for breakfast? You can have anything. You can have anything that you really desire to eat. And like I said, your breakfast should actually be your heaviest meal of the day, even though we most often don't do it. So what I normally have for breakfast is vegetables, fresh vegetables. I always love it when my breakfast is colorful. And that's another rule of thumb. The more colors you have on your plate, bright colors, shining colors, natural colors, then you're good to go. So always challenge yourself to have at least 4 or 5 different bright colors on your plate. Then you know that you're on the right track. So have lots of fresh vegetables: carrots, paprika, sweet peppers, tomatoes, fresh tomatoes, celery. You can cut celery sticks and dip them and eat. Cucumbers, lettuce, rucola is a very, very good lettuce also. And then you can have eggs. Eggs are so good, and in the past we grew up hearing, oh, don't eat more than 2 eggs per week. Eggs are not good, it's high in cholesterol and it's bad for your health. But that is not true. Recent research shows that eggs are good, and you can have up to 4 eggs a day. You can have even 8 if you like. Yeah, so eggs are really good. Try to always have eggs in your breakfast. That is one of the best things you can do for yourself at the start of the day. Eggs are really, really high in all kinds of nutrients. They are good for your brain. They are good for your waistline. They're just good for you. So there are so many ways of preparing eggs. I normally do vegetable omelets. So I slice lots of vegetables, lots and lots of vegetables, and then I add my eggs to it. And the eggs are really there just to hold the vegetables together, and I fry. And that goes for breakfast. And you're really full because you have the vegetables in there, and then you have also the nutrients from the eggs. So you can also scramble your eggs, but then you have only white eggs, empty eggs, and you still need to eat vegetables. So this vegetable omelette is really a good way of eating eggs. Of course, you can always boil your eggs, but again, always try to have extra vegetables at the side. Avocado, pears are really, really good. They are good. They are high in fat, but they are also very, very good fats which your body needs. So avocados are really good, and you can eat avocados with anything and at any time of the day. Then what else do you have for breakfast? You can have brown bread. Avoid white bread as much as possible. You can always have brown bread, but try to reduce the amount of bread you're eating and replace it with vegetables. Okay. Then butter is also good. There's always this debate between butter and margarine. I've been using butter now, and I always think butter is better, but it's actually, you just need to make sure that it's a good quality butter, a good quality margarine, and you're good to go. Then so what about sugar? Sugar is bad for your health. So you really need to start reducing the amount of sugar you consume. When I started to research it into food and everything, I realized that I needed to cut down on sugar. But you can't just stop eating sugar from today to tomorrow. So you need to start gradually so that your body doesn't fight, and then you start exaggerating after. Okay, so you need to just reduce. If you have been putting 2 cubes of sugar in your tea, then maybe you put 1 and see. And then you just keep reducing as the days go by, and before you know it, you realize that you're drinking your tea without sugar, and you're good to go. The next thing you're going to ask me, what about honey? Well, honey has its health benefits, but also honey is full of carbohydrates. It's sweet, so it's also just sugar. So if it's possible, you can get the same nutrients from that you get from honey from other vegetables and fruits. So you must not have honey. There are lots of recipes that include honey, but again, you can have the honey a little bit, but always make sure it's a very, very good quality honey, because a lot of the things that we buy out here, they are manipulated. There are hidden sugars added into it, conservatives and all these things, which are then bad for your health. Then fresh vegetables, raw, you can have them raw. You can fry them in your omelette. You can maybe boil them a little bit if you can't have raw vegetables. There are so many ways, but just make sure you eat lots of vegetables with your breakfast, for lunch, for dinner. Always vegetables. You can never go wrong with vegetables. Then there's also Greek yogurt. I just got to know Greek yogurt of recent, and Greek yogurt is really, really good. You can always top it up with berries. You can add frozen berries or fresh berries. Fresh berries are more expensive, of course, but you can really get frozen berries from the refrigerator section. And if you're going to eat Greek yogurt the next day, you can just remove it the night before, and then when you get up in the morning, it's already thawed, it's no more frozen, and you can use it for your Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt is really good. You can have it for breakfast, also in addition to your egg and your bread. It's really good, and you'll be really, really full. So my dear sisters, you really need to eat well in the morning so that you're not starved by midday or by dinner and then you exaggerate. It's really important that you eat well in the morning, and also in the course of the day when you feel hungry and you think you must eat, you must snack, first drink water. First drink some water or some tea, and then you realize that the hunger cools down, so it reduces the amount of food you eat for the whole day. And then you can also have your salad for breakfast. You can just make your salad. You can add tunfish to it. You can add chicken. You can slice chicken. Maybe you cook and you have some leftover chicken. You can just slice it and throw it into your salad. You can, so you can eat salad for breakfast. That is okay. There are no rules for breakfast except that it has to be healthy. So my dear sisters, that is it on breakfast. Well, like I shared, there is always a lot more that you can learn. There is always a lot more that you can research. So you can read articles on breakfast. I shared some already today. There are other ideas, but what I'm sharing now is really from my experience, the things that I do, the things that I've found that work for me, and that is what I can also share with you. But there is no limit. You can always research more. You can always do more. So please also share with us. I also want to hear from you. I also want to learn from you. It's quite quiet in the group, so please let's make noise and make it more active and interactive and interesting. What are your breakfast rituals? What do you normally have for breakfast every day? And maybe from listening to this audio, what are you going to change to make your breakfast maybe more nutritive and more healthy? And then we're going to talk about preparing meals ahead of time. If you want to eat healthy, it is very, very important that you plan your meals ahead of time. You prepare them so that when it's time to eat, you don't grab the wrong thing to eat. Okay, it's very, very important. That is why I always ask you at the end of the day, what do you plan to eat tomorrow? So think about it. What do you plan to eat tomorrow? And then check, do I have all the ingredients ready? What can I prepare today so that I'm not in a hurry tomorrow? So you can do all of that. Preparing your meals ahead of time, especially your breakfast and your vegetables, is really, really important. It's always good to have sliced vegetables, raw vegetables in your house in the refrigerator. Sometimes just prepare it and put it on the pantry in the kitchen, and your whole family will just go around and eat vegetables. You don't need to be running around after them to eat. And of course, you eat what you see. So if you prepare your vegetables and put them on the pantry, now that we are all at home, you're going to be snacking on those vegetables, and that is good. That is good for you. There is also superfoods. Foods that are really good for weight loss, and they really help you. They're very high in nutrients. Also, I'm going to post some pictures. I'm going to post some articles on that, which you can read and inform yourself and see what else you can add into your diet. Okay, ladies, that's it for today. It's lunch. No, it's time for preparing lunch. So when you prepare your lunch, remember, don't eat too much lunch, and add a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables. Or you can cook them. You can eat them raw. There are no rules. There are no rules for anything. Important thing is just eat healthy. And when as you're going further into the day, reduce your portions, and at dinner time, eat very little so that you also sleep very well, and then you get up tomorrow and you have your wonderful breakfast again, and the circle continues. Okay, ladies, that's it from me. I hope you're blessed by this, and I would like to hear from you also on your eating habits, on your breakfast rituals, and or maybe your main takeaway from this post. All right, God bless you, and have a wonderful day. I hope you're enjoying the journey so far. Bye bye.